Top 5 Bruce Weber replacements. And I changed one of these today. One of these is not going to, I don't think it's going to happen, but it needs to be mentioned. Number 5, Paul Mills from Oral Roberts. Got his team deep into the tournament last year. Is from the Scott Drew tree, knows the Big 12 really well, and has shown that maybe he's ready to take the next step.
You know what? The thing about him, they didn't have a very good year this year, but he lost Banner to Texas Tech, and they had some attrition. But what a run they made a year ago. He's from now the Baylor tree. We've seen what that does, the culture, what they do. Why not?
Yeah, I think Paul would be great at Kansas State, and
grit, feisty.
Yeah. This is from the associate head coach files. KT Turner from Oklahoma. Probably ready to take the jump. 16 years of collegiate coaching. He's on Porter Moser's staff. He's been around the Texas, the Big 12, Wichita State. He's a Manhattan, Kansas native. He's somebody that the fans really like there. And again, if you're going the assistant route, maybe this is the guy that you'd maybe want to try. And he's on a staff with Porter Moser, who knows how to maybe win a little quicker than others.
Yeah, I don't have any opinion on KT Turner. I don't know a lot about him. I'm sure he's well qualified, and I have just a little Google search, seen a couple people mention him as a candidate. I've seen a lot of Jerome Tang, a whole lot of Jerome Tang. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can go with this. I mean, they could go experienced head coach, they can go young head coach, they could go young assistant, they can go veteran assistant. I mean, or I guess they probably wouldn't go a young assistant route, but I mean, pretty much anything's on the table for them with this search, I would think. And there are a lot of great options. I mean, just the assistant coaches alone, there's a lot of great options.
He's at SMU, KT Turner with SMU a long time.
Yeah.
And he's junior college, so he knows the state of Texas, Hutchinson, and Kansas. 2 hotbeds when it comes to junior college basketball.
Yeah. Number 3, Matt McMahon from Murray State. He's going to be mentioned for a lot of jobs. Georgia, probably Tennessee, Kansas State. Again, he's at Murray State. Murray State's dominated the Ohio Valley in his 3 years.
The Racers, right?
Yeah, the Racers. So this is a guy you need to look for in Matt McMahon. And Murray State plays a fun style of basketball that his style probably translates well to the Big 12. Don't know a whole lot about him other than Murray State when you see them. But he is an up-and-comer and certainly someone who's mentioned with a lot of other jobs.
Don't know a lot about him. I really don't.
Neither.
I just know Murray State, when you think of basketball schools that are the schools that at times can make a run, they've always been one that's part of that conversation.
I could talk way more about Vince McMahon than Matt McMahon, yeah. But let's see here. Georgia, that's another Georgia. I did see where he was mentioned as a candidate there. And obviously I don't know if these are, this is anything more than SB Nation throwing out names for the sake of it, but it does seem that he's been mentioned, and that's another thing. Georgia's open, Missouri's open. There's a lot of jobs they're going to be out there, so this will be an interesting little coaching carousel.
Yeah, they've had some names at Murray State. Obviously, there's a reason why they've been successful as well. Mickey Cronin was there. Billy Kennedy was there.
Mm-hmm. Steve
Prohm was there. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. All right, number 2, and this is the one I changed. I did have our friend John Gallagher on here, but we might want to transition him into a different job before we throw him into the Big 12. But love John Gallagher. I think he could do it probably anywhere. But Brad Underwood is the pipe dream of the K-State fans. He's a K-State alum. But he is right now at the number 1 seeded team in the Big Ten tournament in Illinois and doing a really good job up there. So
number 1 seed?
Yeah, they're number 1 seed.
Illinois?
I think so, right? In the Big Ten tournament?
And I know they got knocked out. Indiana just beat them, yeah.
Yeah, they're number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. So Illinois is doing great. I'm not sure why you'd want to leave Illinois and go to Kansas State unless you just really want to coach at your alma mater. But this is what, and Smokey, Brad Underwood.
We did a great job at SFA.
Oklahoma State for a little bit. So, but Brad Underwood is the dream candidate for K-State right now.
Yeah, I was surprised by Illinois, the number 1 seed. They're 16th in the country when it comes to actual ranking, but tied with Wisconsin for the lead. We had some chat room about this yesterday, Paul, when you were out about Brad Underwood, and I was like, what? I mean, the alum and all that sounds great. Illinois is a big boy school when it comes to basketball. And I'm not saying Kansas State wasn't, it used to be, and can't be. But, man, that would be a huge deal. And if that was his dream job, was it his dream job before he started coaching at Illinois? Now, he's bounced around, so it's not like he hasn't done that before.
I don't want to know what kind of buyout money Kansas State has available, because he just signed a new deal not that long ago. I don't think it's a significant buyout, but is that so? I mean, I'm sure that's something they factored in as well. It's like, hey, what kind of buyout money can we come up with? But yeah, I would think you would be a little harder to pull him away than maybe some of these other guys, that aren't as maybe financially secure or locked up as he is. But yeah, this would clearly be like the splash hire. This would be a big splash hire for K-State. And for some, the pull of home is pretty strong. For others, there's a lot of people that don't like going back home. Like we always just assume that people, he's going to go back home. Well, some people tried to get away from there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's him. I'm just saying, like, that's not the automatic layup that we all pretend it to be all the time.
Bill Self's never gone back to Oklahoma State.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, sometimes you're at a job that makes home seem like it's nice, but like
K-State was great to me, but Illinois is a better job.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stay at Illinois. And so, I don't know what his desires are.
Hey.
I'm sure he'll have a conversation or two or whatever. But, that would be a tremendous hire for K-State if they could pull it off.
Yeah. And number one, old buddy Grant McCASLAND.
Yep.
Who I think is ready for this. He is ready for a Big 12 job. And I know today's probably the worst day to put him number one on the list.
No.
Because recency bias, and I guarantee you he would trade 10 punches in the stomach to have that game back today, which was just, a dud. But he is ready. He's got the charisma. He is of all the Scott Drew assistants outside of. No, I think he is. I think he's the one who's most like Scott, like as far as the way he's coaching style and all that. Driscoll's close, but I think Grant and Scott have maybe the most in common. Paul Mills is actually a little bit different than him.
Yeah, no, he is,
and so is Jerome Tang for that matter. And look, Jerome Tang could very well easily be on this list too. It's probably time for him to be a head coach, but he's going to do it when he wants to do it.
Yeah, he's had, again, UTEP and others have been on the doorstep, but not quite there. Okay, that's a good one. I like it. And think about McCasland's connection to Baylor, and then obviously with Jerome Tang, his connection, the tree of Scott Drew. And Paul Mills, of course, as well. Tennessee.